sometimes it can be so darn hard to get started with streaming. But once I do, I'm good to go. There were some balks on this one, but right now I am just checking to network error. Okay, just checking to make sure. Okay, yeah, it looks like things are running. That's super great. Okay, happy about that. And yeah, so I think today I wanted to start out with looking at. So I wanted to explore running a Deno kernel alongside IPython. Nice. In a literate programming context. Period. Okay, so go and clean this up. Kernel alongside IPython, kind of nice, literate. Okay, so now if I go and reread this, what's this? Yeah, okay, explore running a Deno kernel. Yeah, so that's the kind of the plan. This will all come to a point where I start playing around with Aria Live. And what that means is that we're going to be like doing a lot of listening to websites. I'll just do a quick example. This is an old website that kind of like makes the problem statement more apparent. So let me go and basically what to expect for folks who don't typically hear a screen reader is that this is supposed to mimic sort of a life cycle of what would happen in interactive computing. So the idea is that there is a way to announce what's happened to a user who's blind or low vision in their interactive computing context. So when I restart this, it's actually going to go and say, starting Python kernel started, cell2 executed, and all these things are going to happen 3, 5, 13. I don't know why these times are here. I think I just used some like random numbers when I first made this. But let's listen to it a few times. And we're going to need some JavaScript to set it up, which is why I want to play with the Deno thing and see what the impact of this like multi-kernel thing I'm thinking is. So let's go and do that.
VoiceOver on Firefox. Notifying table. Group. You are currently on web content. To enter the web area. Activity log. Expanded. Notifying change. Link. Skip to content. Starting Python kernel. Python kernel started.
So these are the messages I was expecting to hear. There should be a cell execution.
Cell2 executed. Cell2 finished successfully.
So you want to say if the cell finished successfully or failed.
Cell7 executed. Cell7 failed. Python kernel restarted. Python kernel restarted.
Okay, so the Python kernel restarted, truncated that message because the kernel restarted thing is set, I think, as a critical.
Visited. Link. Jump table. Group. VoiceOver off.
Yep. So basically, when we look at this post a little bit more, and I will, but I want to play around and warm up first with this Deno thing. What we are doing is we're effectively mapping the interactive, like terminal console kind of logging messages to an audible level. So most users won't ever experience these modifications. So we'll talk about all that. Let's write a notebook. I really love doing that. So there's this Deno runtime. It's a Jupyter kernel for IPython, or it's a Deno kernel for IPython. So it means I can write. I thought there was a video in here. I'm looking for a video. So when we install this kernel, it gives us access to using it in Jupyter, in VS Code, and what it means is that instead of writing Python, we're actually writing this Deno JavaScript version of Rust. But what's super cool about it is the way the package manager integrates, and I think that that's one of the most compelling narratives here. Let's see if there's a Deno Jupyter YouTube. I think, yeah, here's a little 2-minute. Oi.
Build a website you love with Wix.
Bummer.
For your words,
Deno 1.37 is out, and here are the main highlights of this release. Our goal with Deno is not only to simplify programming by removing configuration, boilerplate, and other steps that prevent you from being productive, but also to bring that modern ease-of-use developer experience to new areas. With Deno 1.37, we are excited to announce built-in support for Jupyter Notebooks. This means you can write modern JavaScript and TypeScript, as well as import and use NPM modules to explore, analyze, visualize data, and create reports. To get started, run the following command and go through the setup process. Now you can create interactive sessions using either Jupyter Lab or your favorite IDE supporting these notebooks. You have access to all Deno's APIs as well as NPM modules, such as the 3, right from your notebook. Not impressed yet? Well, here are just some of the main use cases offered by this new integration. You can now write in Markdown or HTML, load data with fetch, use npm Node.js pollers to explore the data using data frames, draw plots directly on the canvas, and even use observable plots for an easy way to create charts. Maybe even more impressive, you can connect to your hosted DenoKV with DenoKV Connect and pull live data straight into your workspace. Finally, if you are using Notable.io, you can use Deno in your hosted Jupyter notebooks today. We are also improving our VS Code support. First, up until this point, the Deno extension was disabled by default for the convenience of users working on non-Deno TypeScript projects. Previously, you had to set the Deno enable property to true in your editor's workspace settings to enable it. Now, as long as your project root contains a deno.json file, you may leave it unspecified. You can still define deno.enable as false to override this behavior. Second, file renames will also fix your imports automatically. When renaming a JS or TS file, you will be prompted to optionally update import specifiers discovered across your project, which point to that file. Finally, when typing an npm URL in an import specifier, you will get access to autocomplete options for npm packages. The 1.37 release contains many more features, such as general Node.js interoperability improvements, performance gains with Deno Test, and more. Please check the link in the description for a detailed list of all the features Deno 1.37 is offering, and don't forget to click the subscribe button.
build a website you love with Wix.
Ugh, gross advertisements. Anyway, so I guess this feature has been around for a while. I saw it first at like a community call. Kyle Kelly demoed it. Now, so this is just all the improvements. Okay, I already have Deno installed. The way I know that is if I go to select a kernel, I can do start kernel and have Deno, but usually when you install a kernel, it's never as fully featured as IPython, so I pretty much always want IPython, and then I want these other things a little bit secondary. I guess I'm gonna definitely lose out on some code completion, but maybe that is unfortunate. But anyway, we've got this Deno thing. I still want to just figure out the multi-kernel case. So here's the deal. We need to go and start one of the Jupyter client is the one we need. Okay, so once we have this Jupyter client, okay, this is the code completion I really want. So I want kernel spec and then import Jupyter kernel spec. And then or Jupyter client. There's a manager guy somewhere I need. Okay, yeah. Right. It exactly says my use case here, doesn't it? Multi-kernel manager. Cool. So now that we're doing that, okay, Jupyter client, multi-kernel manager, and then we'll call this manager. I'm going to roll this into a class at the end, but let's just get it going first. And then this is going to be what here? Multi-kernel manager. This, I think, needs kernel name. And then this gets deno. And then now we have a client. Okay. No, we do start kernel. Okay. So if manager is alive, I peeked into this earlier, but for me, it's affirming to be able to reproduce it. So if the manager isn't started, we're going to start it. And it is missing a kernel ID. Okay. What did I, how do we resolve this? We do kernel name. Oh, okay. It's not multi-kernel. There we go. Now I think we have a deno installed. So then there's a client guy here. Now, oh, this is a method. It should be typed. Okay, yeah, it's typed. So we get prediction. And then we're going to do execute. And we're just going to say, what's the thing that's always there? Console. Cool. Okay, so it returned the console object, which is kind of the thing we were just talking about. So my idea effectively is to almost recreate this whole entire API, but using something that is more audibly aware and can handle basically, instead of printing to the debugger or wherever, it would actually be printing to the DOM, because it needs to be in the document so that the screen reader can be aware of it. But yeah, anyway, we've got deno working here. Pretty cool. All right, let's go and turn this into something that is a little bit more fluid for me to use. So I'm going to go and make a deno thingy, and it's going to be a data class. And this is going to be the kernel manager. Great. I guess this is a refactor step here. Okay. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to put this in a field, and then we're going to say default factory equals lambda. Oh no, we don't want to do this yet. We want, let's just say, we can kind of, oh, no, we don't need to generalize this. Don't overcomplicate it. Let's just make it deno for now. No, we're going to deno. Okay, great. Because we have data classes here, which gives us post init, and then we can go and say self.manager equals doing the selection stuff always feels like Tetris to me. Okay, that's great. And then we have to do if and then we're going to just say ensure start. And this is going to be, we're going to say there's a started here. And it's false. This should not really be configurable, but I guess for the sake of convention, we'll do it here. And if not self.started, then we are going to go and do manager. If not self.manager is alive. Wow, it's all there. Great. Cool. Then manager start kernel. Self.manager. And now self.manager has this client guy here. And oh no, we're gonna put that client on there. I don't know what its type is. I don't like types. So that's what we're gonna do. And then after this, self.manager.client. Okay, client, just give it to me. And then this is going to start alive, started, is alive. Okay, so that is alive. All right. But we got to ensure it is. While not. Okay, start kernel. Self.client equals self.manager.client. And then while not self.client is alive, do that. And then when it's actually ready, we're going to say self.started equals true. And just to ensure the whole life cycle, we're going to delete this self if self.started. Then we're going to do manager shutdown kernel. Good. Okay. And then we're going to say execute equals self.code. And that's going to be self.client execute interactive code. And then we can return the result of that, but we actually don't really want to. So we are going to if deno kernel in locals, delete deno kernel. Okay. And then we go down here and then we ask for deno. Okay. And now deno kernel started. Oh, okay. Ensure self, ensure start. Client is alive, has no function, has no attribute, is alive. Okay, that's great. That's the client. Now it does. That's good. All right. So now I should be able to do deno execute and then get console. Awesome. All right. So now I have some gear installed in my shell that can go and give me a little bit more fence methods. So it's got a bunch of different things for markdown code fences that I can use. Like if I do, I haven't talked about schema yet, but usually I write schema this way. So that's a nice way to serialize that, and then we can pass it into a Python variable. And if the first line is empty, hidden. Anywho, we are going to make a fence method for deno specifically. I'm not going to do TypeScript or anything. And then we're going to say in main, it should, well, let me do that. Let's see, deno kernel execute. Yeah, it might. I don't know if that's going to do it. Let's try it. So now I should be able to do deno and then console. Wow, it works. Okay, great. So now we have like a little programming tool for deno here. And I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah, nice. So like, let's say we had some pandas data we wanted to pass into here. Is this gonna work? Yeah, it'll work. I got Ginger templates in here, which will help me do some data passing. So let's just say that we've got range 10 and then yeah, like this. So we're just gonna multiply that by 10. Good. DF. So now I can go and turn this into all different kinds of JSON. Let's see, orient equals. And I understand I can just do it this way, but you know, they said that I should be able to. So now if I go and do this is just check in. Boom. No. Unexpected token. String literal. Unexpected. Okay, it looks like, yeah, okay. It does not look like it's doing what I wanted it to do. So does it not? Okay, oh, right. It'll never get that unless, okay, here's how I do it. There's a few ways to do it. The one way to do it would be to go and put a string in here. And then I'm just looking for ways that I can put Python into JavaScript right now. And I think that's one of them. Okay, we don't need to see that. God knows. And it is not showing us anything at all. Why? Okay, because, well, what it should be. Let's just put it there. Okay. We see nothing. No, it's getting executed. Console.log 11 100. Okay, so that doesn't work. Okay, so we're never see. Okay, okay, so now there it did do the thing, and it showed me the output. No, that's just showing me the templated thing. Anyway, whatever. I'll figure it out later. Let's get to this screen readery problem. But I'm gonna take a little calligraphy break here, and probably don't need the screen at the moment, and just draw. And I'm happy I got that code working. It's interesting to so like, I mean, I guess we can talk about. I should have done some importing. I'll get back to it. Let's just do some drawing. It's important. Otherwise, all right. Oof. Alrighty. Okay. So just loading up some ink. It's basically waiting for the kernel to restart. This page is dirty, but I don't hate that. It's usually give some guidance, I guess. This pen writes so big. I think let's just do the first letters with this one. So I think what I want to do is kind of each episode sit down. Sometimes I don't do it, and I don't know, like I really wish I did because the drawing slows me down. But each time I do this, I'd really like to get in a better habit of just writing tangle and weave in some capacity. Just thinking about the paper part. Because, I don't know, the Ario Live problem, this announcing thing that I shared, so I was programming in a notebook and I'm cited, which is nice, right? But like as we're trying to design these experiences, like everything that we see, we need to find a way to transmit audibly and in a standards-based way so that it goes through this really awkward ARIA API. This makes me think of the Vans logo. Never really know. It took me a while to realize that the Vans logo actually had a square root in it. I like that we can kind of go and use these lines and create some depth. But then we're going to come along with a more delicate pen, I think. And oh, wow. I got to get my hat is definitely, okay. I should wear a beanie when I do this, perhaps. Or I should give myself a little bit more room over here. And then I can move the paper around just a smidge more. And I should be blocking out less this way. I don't think I have the book in here. I think I talked about it at one point on one video or something like that, but there's a lettering artist I really like who always says he knows his letters are done because they sound like something, and it's I'm starting to carry that practice over when I'm designing websites and scientific data-driven things for a screen reader. It's important to figure out how to express the information and all of the sensorium. Should be able to see it and feel it and touch it, like within your own sensory capacities, of course. So if I am a notebook user and I am trying to take a data science class and do some work in AI, and even if I'm doing a digital humanities class these days, it's quite likely that you may encounter computational notebooks in some way or another, whether it's in the coursework or whether it's in reference media. If there's something data oriented, that's very likely that there's some kind of content available in these notebooks. So that means that, like, if you are a blind or low vision student or scientist, you could be missing out on a lot of things because the interfaces are so intensely visual that it's implicitly visual. There's so much like visual gestalt techniques used to identify that this is a cell and this is its outputs, but that stuff isn't apparent and it's really easy to take for granted. So this ARIA Live problem is increasingly hard because it's literally untestable. I don't want to hear about your automated versus manual testing in the realm of ARIA Live and the realm of doing screen reader notifications. There's no way to achieve an outcome without manually testing, without turning on the screen reader, going to
Notifying
the
change.
site,
Show kernel info button. Buttons. Notifying changes
and
in link. Skip to content. Link. Starting Python kernel.
waiting
Python kernel
to
started.
hear what happens. So, some if there's AI
Cell 2
involved,
executed.
if these students are running models that take a lot of time, they might have a lot of things going on and a lot of tabs going on.
Cell
So
2 finished
they
successfully.
need to be notified for these things. And this, I guess
Cell
it's
7
nice
executed.
to have made this old web page because it's helping me kind of
Cell 7
demonstrate the
failed.
point.
Python kernel restarted. Python kernel restarted.
We typically see we being the standard user base that's considered the visual user base that's considered when designing these things. We only see this stuff happen.
OBS. OBS Studio 30. Firefox. Notifying. You are currently on a link. Skip to content. Header. Navigation. Image.
So, this ARIA Live problem is really difficult because
Cell 2 executed.
it's going to take a lot of man hours to verify that stuff like this works, especially in like super complicated applications
Cell
like a
2 finished
Figma
successfully.
or a Canva or something. But fortunately, they're like big organizations, and
Cell 7 executed.
hopefully they have people handling. I don't know how any of that stuff works, but all of these complications
Cell 7
become
failed. Python
really
kernel
specific.
restarted. Python kernel restarted.
So that's the end of it. All of these considerations become really specific to the application context. And I suppose it's
Vision. Unselected. Blind and low vision Jupyter users frequently ask for audible, non-visual announcements about changes to the state of the document. This demand introduces a new visual and non-visual feature to computational notebooks that notify any user of an update. This feature request starts as a non-visual component, but quickly we realize that a visual component would be assistive to all users. Visited. Link. Toast components are common patterns for these kinds of notifications, but there are accessibility challenges. One specific challenge is that the ARIA Live message could be destroyed. It is announced this demands the need for a more persistent message, but not immortal. The time delay should be configured on the order of minutes. Another notification pattern to consider. Visited. Link. Toast components are common patterns for the visited. Link. Toast components. This feature requests visited. Link. Are common patterns for these kinds of notifications, but there are accessibility are common visited. Link. Toast components. Visited. Link. Notifications API. This approach would be for escalated notifications, or tens of minute notifications. The OS will handle the accessibility of these messages. CF. Link. HTTP. Visited. Link.
so yeah, what did all of those jumbled words mean? I think maybe now I have the motivation to perhaps go back and edit some of this a little bit more. I've actually gotten into the habit of listening to my written work more. And I've just sort of gotten in the habit of listening to work more, or listening to digital works more. And I guess one of the reasons that I just understood was it's a good BS detector for AI slop. If you turn on your screen reader and you go and listen to
Navigation. OBS. Mic. Voiceover off.
yeah, if you go and you listen to some AI, if you listen to some content and it sounds like somebody you want to talk to at a bar, then it's probably some AI slop. Maybe I just like really care too much about handmade stuff. But these messages and the way that we present them to users is a very handmade, hand-tested, hand-driven sort of activity. There's no real fast way around it unless somebody figured out a way to test what's coming out of the sound of things. But we know what challenges might come with that. In the meantime, I think it really helps to record things like this, make little scripts and prompts. The testing scenario I set up isn't a very good one, because it takes too long for things to happen, but it also can't be too fast either. Now, one of the things that I say in that word slop, so I understand the irony of saying, oh, if you listen to it and it sounds like somebody you don't want to talk to at a bar. I understand that guy that you just listened to when I played what I had written a long time ago sounds quite drunk. He might also have a challenge with reading words in order and writing them, I guess. But what is one of the visual features that came out of this is this idea of a table that show. It's almost as if what you see in the terminal is actually available in HTML here. And I've structured it as a table. And the idea is that every level here, this is a log level. These are pretty conventional. I can import these standards from Python or JavaScript. You'll even find that they're in the console API. And then we have the ARIA Live key that we're using. And there's only two, well, there's three. There's none, there's assertive, and there's polite. And then we have the message. We have an ID that doesn't necessarily need to be exposed to anybody. I was just doing it for the sake of demonstration. But the other thing that's interesting is this idea of an action, because we should be able to cancel things and reverse things. And it's almost as if this feature here is offering up an accessibility improvement for anybody, actually. A place to go and maybe revert some things. Was this cell deleted? Blah, blah, blah. This should definitely be configurable. We'll have to set it so that there's a timeout and these things go away after certain periods of time. But it should almost be transparent with using the console. It's a very familiar API. It's not a different API. It's adding sound to a visual product. So I think after now that I'm there, I think I can start to work my way through some of the challenges here, because the challenges with this ARIA Live are so absolutely many. One of the biggest challenges is that it has to be seen. If it's hidden, if it's not in the document, then none of these things ever make their way up to the screen reader. So that means if I put them inside of a dialogue, they'll never be heard unless the dialogue is shown. if I put them inside of a details. They'll never be heard unless the detail is expanded. What other nuance is there with these things? Sometimes the message just doesn't get read. Sometimes there's just so much stuff going on. Sometimes the message gets read and you don't even hear it. And then it's just refresh again. And in a complex set of interactions, it can be challenging. So I don't really know. I haven't thought about this, but I wonder if there's a way, I wonder if it would even make sense to use Playwright in a headed state. And I wonder if that could actually act as if it's playing it for you. So I guess what that means is it's probably time to start jamming a little bit on this. I guess I'm pretty quick with Playwright. This isn't bad way to start. I know y'all don't see it, but all these lines are part of the story and conversation I was just having with myself here. Kernel start, page loaded. Here's the title. Here's the kernel started. Here's your skip link, and here's the cell execution, and here's the fact that your data's here, and now the plot showed up, and now you're super happy because all of that stuff is much more clear and apparent to you, and you don't have to go and listen to everything. All of these things here are just deep little layers of complexity that surround this challenge. I've heard so many people on this problem that I don't understand how there isn't a more general way to interface with these things. I don't care to disrespect people's work anymore. I just know that there might be a way for it to be better, and I'm not sure what it looks like. But I think over here I had some decent thoughts. So basically what we're trying to do here is we're trying to say that these are all the instructions that I wrote. So basically we're trying to say that there is a mapping of the ARIA Live spec There's a mapping of the ARIA Live attributes and spec to all of these conventional log levels that we've had since we've had the Bourne shell. So the one that's different is that in the console we have console.group, right? So what's Deno say we have? So if we go over to Deno and we look at what is in our console here, again, we see the log, we see the debug. Deer, this is more of this is a common feature. This is all the variables you got. So I guess that's wrapped up in the console here. There is warnings, errors. This is a testing statement. Now the table one, basically we've said that there's a table. And then we get into the timing, we get into the grouping. So what's like one of the groupings would be the cell has executed and then the cell has finished successfully. And then there might be some like call to action thereafter. So these groupings of things, or, you know, maybe somebody selects a group of cells and we want to think about that cluster, and then they restart and run all of these things. Like there's a lot of ordering operations that are going to happen, and I think that there's could be some significant audible runaway. There's another rub that comes into play. Now, if we go and we look at, if we talk about the states of a notebook, nope. State, this isn't the one. This is, what do I want here? So I am looking for the executed in order. In order, out of order. Okay, yeah, I guess I test it here. Okay, yeah. So if I have a notebook and I wanna and I open it, like a lot of times I'll just like scroll to the bottom and see how long it is. Now, most screen reader users can't do that, so they need a summary. But then, like, let's say I get all the way to the end of a notebook and I realize that there's like actually an error in it, and maybe it indicates to me that the whole notebook's actually faulty. If the screen reader didn't get there or ever hear that, then not presenting it to them could be a danger. So this ARIA Live, especially with the assertive, has the potential to alert screen reader users, AT users, of potential errors or problems or things that might degrade the value of their time, the time spent looking at the thing. Cool beans. So let's kill the overhead. Don't kill it. Let's get rid of it. Let's pull that back a little bit and let us get to typing. And we're going to be doing a bunch of screen readery things. So that's cool. I'm psyched on this. So let's see how we go. And all right, first of all, let's do it this way. So if I have an output tag, and then I say it's an ID, and I'm just going to start IDing everything in this increment. Okay. So, and then I go and say this will say nothing. Okay. And that's true. So, the reason it won't say anything is because what ARIA Live does is ARIA Live updates when the text is updated. So now if I go and I take and I have my ID of I, and I go and say document, or is it just window I? I don't know what that, no, this is not right. Script. Okay. Script. And then I'm going to go and I'll turn on the screen reader in just a second. But what this should do, document, get element by ID. IDs are the best. Enter text. And that equals, now I can control what the computer says. All right, so
OBS, overhead, text, OBS Studio 31.0.3, profile, untitled, scenes, untitled, window. You are currently on a text element.
okay.
Firefox, this will say nothing, group. You are currently on a cells, group, code cell content with output, group. Now I can control what the computer says. You are currently on a group.
So when the output element got
82.
updated.
Edit text in greater than. Now I
Okay.
percent less. Voiceover off.
All right. So let's do it this way. Let's set timeout. And then let's go and do this. And now I can kind of talk about it. So in, say, 5 seconds. Okay. So in 5 seconds after this, I don't know if it's going to update. Let's just try it. I don't know if it's going to update since it's the same script or same text.
Voiceover on Firefox. Cells, group, code cell content with output, group. You are currently on a group.
Okay, so it didn't update because the text didn't
Code cell
change.
edit text. Percent less than script right
Oh,
parenthesis.
wait. I
You
forgot
are
I was
currently
waiting
on a
5
text
seconds.
area.
All right.
80 edit text main now I sem quotation had the wait t it semicolon exclamation save page as. You are current cells.
Wait for it.
Wait for it.
Okay, cool. So, you know, what we're often doing when we're making web pages is we're designing it to look like something. But what we're doing here is we're designing it to sound like something. So this is actually the trick I had to do over in
Code cell voiceover
the
off.
first notebook that we look at. Is there should be a set timeout here. Yeah, we're setting a timeout. We're using a bunch of non-visual classes. And, this is actually to make the messages. Okay, set timeout. Oh, no, it's the only one in there. Yeah, I guess that's the one we're doing then. Okay. Oh, that's really goofy that it does that with the escaping. Ah, funny. Anyway, nice. So now we are figuring out how to control this a little bit. But like, if this was 100, another message. Oh, I need to. Okay. So that's going to happen. It's going to do that.
Voiceover
Okay. And then.
edit text percent. Wait for it. You cells group code cell content with output another message.
Okay. So again, just went right there, but it waited that time. Now, what
44
I want
less
to
than bound
do
method 89
is
codes
show
voiceover
how
off.
we can make these things a little more eager. So let's smush all this stuff together here. It'll make life easier as we increase the complexity of things. So now, yeah. Okay, so you can kind of see the short little delay there, but we basically need that. So see, this is why there needs to be some kind of API that makes this a little bit easier, but I don't think it's a new API. I think it's a very, very old API. Something that's kind of, so we have our deno in here, which means that we can actually start making classes, and we actually have TypeScript, but I don't fucking know. I don't know how to write TypeScript, so that's fine. But I think we're gonna make console John. I think we're gonna make something like this here. Invalid syntax, of course it is, but now it ain't. All right, that's cool. So and then we put that here, and all right, great. So now it's showing up, and this thing is going to have. I literally don't know how to write a class. Is it log equals? I don't know how to write. I always brain fart on JavaScript. I do not like that stuff. Stuff is stupid and terrible. Construct. Okay, yeah, okay. It's not just like, okay. Log, and then it's going to take a message. Well, yeah, it's going to take a message, and then we're really going to have this function message, and this is going to have a level, and this is going to do a lot of our business. So this would actually get called and say this dot message, but this would send log over. So it'd say level, yeah, and then we'd probably have some mapping. I think I made the mapping over here. Where's the mapping? Okay, so that's the script guy, and then this is, okay, so if I put this over here, then I'll get a JSON version out. All right, cool. And that is this. So if I put that into here, then this is, so that was just some Python to JavaScript. Okay, so now this is the log to ARIA, log to live. Yeah. Cool beans. And yeah, people will probably want to change this. Now we can get rid of this. Cool. All right. And let's see. Can I make a new one? Great. Okay. Great. So it looks like it's starting to come together. Why? I feel like I should be seeing something here, though. Do I get dot message? Is this just like a... Let me hide that. Okay, yeah, no, it's a function. It shows up. All right, great. So we're actually like kind of building out this thing. And this is where all the heavy lifting is going to happen. And there's also going to be a... So, yeah, let's keep on going with some of the challenges here. All right, so this is, say that, okay. And then now I'm going to go and do II, and I'm going to say ARIA live equals assertive. What it is right now is it's ARIA live equals polite. And then okay, so let's see. This should, so we got the timeout set for that. I think this will work.
Voiceover on cells, group,
Nope.
less than, output, percent, less than,
Oh, no, that's
edit
right.
text, right parenthesis, all your base, 2 inches dot inner text, cells, group, codes, less than, output, percent, less than,
Okay,
out,
it did
percent,
not do
less than,
what
output,
see, this
main
is why
area
it's
toolbar,
you know,
item palette. You are currently on a text area.
testing this is a nightmare. And especially
Main
it does
area
not help
Jupyter
that
Lab,
Jupyter
group.
is not specifically the greatest accessibility wise. Let's see.
Menu, D, V, div, copy, less than div. Save page as, polite gray bullet, new line. Percent, edit text, percent. You are percent, 5, save cell, 500, holy shit dude, info, colon, polite, comma, group. You are current error, colon,
I think that one actually
group.
worked.
Main area toolbar item palette. Less than, div, percent,
I don't know what I'm
group.
clicking on that's doing that. That's weird.
Cells, group, code cell content with output. Holy shit dude, do you hear about what happened? 110, 100, edit text, percent D.
We're getting there.
Left brace, D. All your base. Exclamation mark. You are, holy shit dude to you, 2, selected, D. Did. Holy shit dude, did you hear about what happened?
Okay, so that is polite. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's polite. So if I run this...
Cells. Group. Code cell content with
Oh,
output.
fuck.
Code cell content. Holy shit, dude, did you hear about what happened?
Okay. Great.
Main area toolbar. Edit
Now.
text. Jupyter Lab. Group. Holy shit, dude, did you hear about edit text? Percent less than divide equals 2 aria live equals polite greater than less than slash div greater than less than script greater than set timeout equals greater than left brace document get element by id 2 dot inner text equals holy shit, dude, did you hear about what?
I'm trying to
Click to
figure
add a
out
cell.
how
But
to...
cells. Code cell content with output.
Oh,
Group.
bugger.
Voiceover off.
So Jupyter has its own keyboard commands that conflict with the screen reader, which is kind of tough. So it's hard to demo these things, but if I keep messing up, eventually I'll have recordings of decent examples here. So let's just get rid of, I guess the cursing probably doesn't need to exist. I never feel that way, but so if we have something going here,
Voiceover on Firefox. Cells. Group. Code cell content with output. Group. Code cell content with output. Group. You are currently on a group.
okay, nothing.
Edit 117. Selection delete. Holy crap, dude, did you hear about what happened? You are currently on a text area.
So that time we heard a beep.
Holy crap, dude, did you hear about what happened? Holy shit, dude, to you. P-L-L-O-I-I-T. You. Holy crap, dude, did you hear about what happened?
Beep.
Polite greater than less than slash div greater than. Holy crap, dude, did you hear about what happened? Polite. Select A-S-S-E-R-T-E. Assertive greater than less than slash div greater than.
There's a beep when you get this assertive one. So what we've got over here going
Voiceover
on
off.
is we've got the assertive map to error and critical, which might even be a little bit too much. But yeah, so that's just gonna go. And now, like if you're a blind or low vision developer, you might want to turn on warn and debug or something like that. We're missing the group feature. Now let's start doing it this way. Let us go and let's take this example and then we are going to put this inside of a details and throw a summary on that. What's in here? Okay, so if I go and move this up a line and I put this in here and we run it, let me go and you'll only hear me when I'm open. Okay, so let's go and put open on here, and then we run this, and we have to update our guys. Great. All right, so visually it works. That's the first thing we have to check. Did the text actually show up there? Now, if this was non-visual, that would be a different problem. And then we go and let's see what it sounds like.
Voiceover on Firefox. October 28th, 2000. You'll only hear me when I'm open.
Okay, so when I run this,
You'll only hear me when I'm open.
I get the ARIA Live message. Now, if I get rid
You'll
of
only
the
hear me when I'm open. Group open.
open
Space.
part,
Cells. Group. Code cell content with output. Group.
I keep running the cell and I'm not getting anything.
Save page as.
Now, here's a trick I like. So what we're gonna go do
Voiceover off.
is we're gonna go to this one. This one is I go to a lot. So this is the visually hidden recommendation. I think there's like what's the TLDR where we came in, and with all that done, here's the recommended pattern. Okay, so this is what we want, and I'm just gonna move this over here, And let's go and say that this style, all right, so visually hidden. Okay. And I am also going to say that I prefer this non-visual marker here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this class of non-visual here. I know I should put it inside of, let's throw it inside a section. And let's call this thing a log. Okay, so now that we are in here and it's not this is non-visual. It's actually that details.log plus the thing, the section immediately after it is visually hidden when this is not open. All right. So when I run this, we don't see the text. But if I click on this, now we do see the text. But now, so we're doing the visual verification here. And the audible verification is that, well, this works. That's the visual one.
Voiceover on. Edit text. Cells. Group. Code cell. Error. Colon. Assertive. Comma. Group. Edit text. Percent. Cells. Code cell content without.
Shoot.
Clip. Hyphen. Path. Inset. Left parenthesis. 50. 3 more. Less than slap. Percent. Position. Absolute. Right brace. Group. You'll only hear me when I'm open.
Okay. So this is heard because it's open. Okay.
Open. Selected.
Let's close it.
Save page. Less. You'll only hear me when I'm open. White. Hyphen.
Okay.
Voiceover off.
So now in the situation that we're in, since this is, the section is visually hidden when the details is collapsed, it doesn't affect the sighted viewer. But it's still a visual log that they can go and access here, right? So kind of the yeah, anyway, I'm not going to get into what the proposition is just yet. I'm just trying to get into the challenges here. So I think all right, so now we've looked at this one, and I kind of like the solution. But now let's say that I have a dialog open. Okay, so let's go here. Let's add another cell. And let's do this. Let's make this 4. Okay. And it's updating here. But let me go and put an open dialog in. So dialog. And let's make sure.
Width. 1. Right brace. Group. You'll only hear me when I'm open.
Okay. Now the dialog is closed.
Width. 1. Edit text. Percent.
I'm going to open
space.
the dialog.
P. E. E. I. O. Great. O. P. E. You are open greater than. You'll only hear me when I'm open.
Why did that work? I don't think I can do that
Open.
to a dialog.
Selected. You are current less than.
Stuff.
F. Cells. Group. Code cell content with output.
Okay.
Group.
All right,
Edit
here's what I'm gonna
text.
do.
Percent. Clip. Hyphen. Path. Voiceover off.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give this dialog here an ID equals IVD, and then I am dialog toggle something show modal. Okay. All right, so we're going to go here, get this. And maybe these cases are overly simplified, but we have to start simple to learn how to control these things. So now we've got this, and we're going to do show modal. All right. Okay. So let's escape that. Good thing I got that little, I probably should put a form button thing in there. I don't want to do it right now. Anyway, so let's go and do our screen reader again.
Voiceover on Firefox. You'll only hear me when I'm open.
Okay. So that is working.
Edit text.
Let's show the
Percent
modal.
less than space. Group OBS. OBS Studio 31.0.3. Profile. On top.
I don't know why it went there. Did it send my
OBS
mouse over there?
October 28th, 2020. Firefox. Cells. Group. Codes. Edit text. Group. OBS. OBS Studio 31.
Anyway, it's sending my mouse a crazy place with this dialogue thing for some reason. Maybe
OBS October 20.
maybe because there's
Firefox.
nothing to focus
Cells.
on.
Group. Edit text. Voiceover off.
Okay, let's go and do a form. And I think button. I think this is method equals dialogue. And then we'll just close. Okay. Maybe that's better. Let's see if that's better. All right.
Voiceover on Firefox. Code cell content with output. Group. You are currently on. Close. Button. You are currently on a button inside of web content.
Okay, so that's interesting. There's definitely some like focus problems when I didn't construct the dialogue with anything to focus on for the screen reader. I've never actually seen that before. So that's kind of cool. But remember what we're testing here is
Cells. Group.
the effect of
Edit
a modal.
text. 155. Clickable. You are October 28th, 2025 stream on close. You are currently on a text area. 155. Clickable. Say October 28th. Cells. Group. Code cell codes. You'll only hear me when I'm open.
Okay. So again,
You'll only hear me when I'm open.
we can hear it.
Edit text. You are currently October 28th, 2025 stream. Web content. Here. Only here. Space. You are open.
When the dialogue is closed.
Save page as cells. Group. Code cell. You'll me when edit text. Percent less.
Okay. So
Edit text. Percent less than style greater than details log. Not. Open. Plus section dot.
okay.
NV. Not percent save page at. You'll me when the dialogue is closed.
Okay. You'll hear.
Edit text space R. Here. You'll only hear me when I'm open. October 28th, 2025.
keep
Edit
bouncing
text.
around
Percent
in-
less than style greater than
Okay.
details log. Not.
You'll
Open. Plus
hear.
section. Here am. Save page as. Edit text. Percent less than style greater than details log. Not. October 28th, 2000. Edit text. Edit text. Percent less than style greater than
Okay, so
details
this is
log.
not the
Edit
dialogue
text.
one. This is
Percent
now.
less than style greater than details log. Save page. Edit text. Percent less than.
Okay, so this is 3. Now
Edit
it should be on
text.
4.
Save page. Edit text. Percent less than
I don't know
style
why I'm
greater
not
than
hearing
details
anymore.
log. Not. Open. Plus section dot NV.
Let's refresh.
Localhost 8008. OBS. OBS. Firefox. October 20. Save page as.
Okay, so let's get back to, was that saving everything? I really hope so. Yeah, it was. Okay,
Edit
great.
text. %%. Edit position. Absolute.
See, I'm executing it and I'm not hearing anything. I think we were before. Oh, okay.
Document. Period. Document. Right brace. Save page as.
Something seems to
Cells.
be going on.
Code cell. Markdown cell content. Markdown cell. Code cell content with output. Group. You are currently on a group.
I don't know
Save
what's
page
hanging.
as. Voiceover off.
Peculiar. I don't often have this. Oh, okay. Too many files open. All right, neat. Let's close that. I think I just upset my computer. All right, so now let's see if we can do this again. All right, another message. Great. All right, now we are back in business. So let's go down back to here. All right, what's here? And then you'll hear me when the dialog is closed. So,
Voiceover on Firefox. October 20. Right. Less than. Script. Great. You'll hear me when the dialog is closed.
okay, so the dialog's closed, so you hear me. Now let's go
Less than. /
and
style. Greater than. Group.
show
Edit
the
text.
dialog,
Space.
and then we
You are
shouldn't
currently
hear
on
anything.
document. Close button. You are currently on a button inside of web content. To click this button, press Control Option Space Cells Group Code Cell.
Okay, now
August 14th 2000 space with that voiceover off.
what just happened? When the dialog pops up, it renders everything else inert. Like if I actually go and look at the accessibility properties of this page, and we look at the tree. How do I get to the darn tree? This is too, I don't want to be this close here. Okay, so if we go and look at what is in the accessibility tree at this moment, it's actually just the dialogue. None of the IPython application is there. If I go and I get rid of it, and then I open this up and I look at accessibility properties, now it's all back. But when I go and I put the dialogue here and we inspect the accessibility properties, all of the rest of the application is inert and it is hidden from the screen reader. So what that means is that we actually have to go and do a solution like this, where what we're going to do is instead of using ID here, we're going to start using class. Actually, this one doesn't need that. This one can stay IVD. This one, though, has to become a class. And then all right, so now when this message is open, okay, and now for this here, I have to go query selector all for each. I'm really glad that I got some of this content on the books. It's hard to capture. It really is. And you kind of need to write about this, to try and like write an issue about this. I'm not sure how to do it yet. It's a challenging topic. So now I'm gonna, you'll hear me when the element is in the accessibility tree. Okay, so now it should, basically what I did is instead of having one place, every dialogue actually has to go and have, let's call this a log. Let's just say this is the log here, class log, and we're actually going to go put the log in here. And I think it makes sense kind of just at the end. And I mean, in theory, we should have something that says dialogue open, but I'm getting pretty, okay, what, so one of the shortcomings of my silly little language here is that it can't handle white spaces very good. But now we got close and okay, so it's in the dialogue. IVD. Oh, VD. VD. Nice. Okay, so then the log. So let's make the log open just so it's easier to see. And, you know, we can toggle that accordingly. Okay, so now let's try our problem again. And remember, when we used the dialogue before, we couldn't hear anything. Now it should be in the accessibility tree.
Voiceover. Close button. You are currently on a button inside of web content. To click this button, press Ctrl, Option, Space. To exit this web area, press Ctrl, Option, Shift, up arrow.
Okay, I guess we didn't hear it
Cells, group.
And we're still on assertive.
Assertive. Selected.
Let's
P
throw
O L
polite
E.
on
Save
this.
page app. Polite greater than assertive. So P L O O L P L I I P L I E. Save cells. Close button. October 28th, 2000. Cells. Group. Code cell. Edit text. Percent. Close button. You are currently on a button inside of web content. To click this button, press Ctrl, Option, Space. To exit this web area, press Ctrl, Option, Shift, up arrow.
Sometimes you have to just wait till the whole message goes through, just so you don't know
October
when things
28th.
get said.
Cells. Group.
Let's put a
Code
little more
cell
delay
content
in
with
here.
output. Group. You are currently on a group. Edit text. % less than style greater than details law. Space. Selected. You comma 500. Right parenthesis.
I shouldn't
You are
have,
for docu
no,
cut.
I should have
You
this
are you'll hear
outside the
paste.
timeout. That's been, that'll
Edit
change
text. Menu
things.
bar. Document
Okay.
get element by save page as. Cells. Group. Code cell content with output. Edit text. T. Left brace. 15. Clickable. You are currently on October 20. Voiceover
Okay.
off.
Again, man, I wish I could figure out where I was a little bit better from what it was saying, like what line number it was or something. I don't know. But okay, so this is ID VD, right? Yeah, that should be showing the thing. Let's just make sure we're seeing the modal. Okay, that shows. And then, okay, and then it adds the message. So now let's see if we get it happening.
Voiceover on Firefox. Code cell content without. Close button. You'll hear me when the element is in the accessibility tree.
Okay.
You are currently on a button inside of web content. To click this button, press It
took a while to get there. But this is basically the major challenge with using Aria Live in a complex application with modals. So the reason this
menu,
popped up
14,
here
select
is
voiceover off.
because now it's in the accessibility tree. So it's in here, and then, yeah, carrying a role. This is the one, sensitive, div, v. Yeah, this is the one I guess I put the Aria Live on. What's it say? Relate, oh, the attributes. All right, enabled, opaque. I don't know. I don't even know what any of this stuff really means too much. Interesting. But yeah, what the screen reader gets is a static shot of this at any given time. So we have to make sure that it shows up in this sort of tree here, and we can't hide it in the details. So let's go through and let's run this again. So what did this use case do? So this is all right. Aria Live only updates assistive technology when the text in an element changes. Period. If the text is replaced with an equal string, it is not read. Period. So that's the first example. Okay, so let's hear it.
Voiceover. Another message.
Great.
Voiceover off.
All right, that's that use case. So now this is the assertive use case, which updates right when it happens. So okay, I'm gonna let this one like linger for like 2 seconds so I can click on some stuff, and then we should be able to see that happen somehow.
Cells. Group. Code cell content with output. Group. You are currently on a group.
So it doesn't show up. This is supposed to interrupt
Edit
things.
text. % less.
Okay, it did not update.
Save page as. Holy crap, dude, did you hear about what happened?
Okay, now it did.
Save page as. Cells. Group. Code cell content with output. Group. You are currently on a group.
Okay, so it seems like the assertive messages
October 28th, 2025 stream.
are actually not
Edit
going
text.
through in the way that I expect them to. I thought they were supposed to interrupt, but I guess if someone's talking, they don't get through, which is kind of weird. But anyway, maybe polite is going to be the jam. I'm not sure. But see, the thing with polite is if you stop reading, those don't get shown either. So the other nice thing about having this like activity
Save page
log
as.
is that if you miss messages, you can always go back to it, which is kind of a major problem with toasts. So I feel like interactive websites could benefit from having, in general, this component across the board. So what do we do here? We talked about this, how to trigger ARIA Live.
Cells. Group. Code cell content.
This here is doing what? This one is going, and this is assertive again, and assertive.
Semicolon.
Let's
Selected.
change this to polite.
You are assertive. Select P O F T. Save page at polite greater than less than / div greater than. You'll only hear me when I'm open.
Okay, great. So that one
Here. Selected.
So
here,
in this
space.
case, what we've done is we've been able to use the
Voiceover off.
Here we use the non-visual pattern in conjunction with the details tag to create a way to expose audible messages without them having a visual impact. Period. Cool. So that'll get updated. Now, this one here, what do we do here? So let's go back to polite. And this one, we were demonstrating how the dialogue silences me. You'll only hear me if you close the dialogue in time. So let's make this 5 seconds. And then we've got some source code with like a little hidden trick here. And let's see. So, all right, so that showed, oh yeah, we were having that problem. So we need to do this and put it outside here. Okay. I told you my thing doesn't like white space. Okay, so now we should get a message. And it is over in here. So let us.
Voiceover. Close button. You are currently on a button inside of web content.
Okay, so it won't hear it, but close
Cells,
it.
group, codes, close button. Cells, group. The dialog silences me. You will only hear me if you close the dialog in time.
Okay, so since we closed the dialog in time, we actually got that message.
Edit
Now,
text. % less than style greater than. Close button.
if
You are
I
currently on a button inside.
if I don't close this, then we'll never hear it because it's hidden. So the
Cells,
solution
group,
we
code
had
cell
for that
content without edit text. % less than style greater than details log.
was
Not open plus section dot
having to
nv.
repeat
Not
the whole
focus.
element here.
Not close button. You'll hear me when the element is in the accessibility tree.
So
You are
now it's in
currently
the
on a button
accessibility
inside
tree
of
up
web
here.
content. October 20 cell. Voiceover off.
And it's placed in the log here. So these are just some of the complexities that I've had kind of stuck in my head that need to get dealt with when it comes to working with these notebooks. I still haven't thought about how to deal with the activities and actions. I do think a table makes sense for this. Some kind of landmark or significant thing would make sense. It should be quick and easy to get to this. Yeah, I guess we never did any application of the Deno thing. I'm still happy I was able to write a little bit of that code and get it working. I still haven't figured out how to make it cross-compile there. But I'm just going to kind of call this Deno warm-up. And then, cool. So these are a bunch of aria. I find I like writing with a lyricality to it. So saying it, then reading it and editing it seems to work a little bit better for me. Aria Live basic mechanic. Yeah, this shit's so annoying. Like it for the most part in everything accessibility wise, it only matters what's in HTML. But for some reason, this feature has very awkward ergonomics to it. I think we're trying to figure it out here. It's just that I can't. I can understand why it's less widely deployed. It's frustrating to test. It's frustrating. I mean, for some people, it's literally impossible to test because of just general screen reader literacy problems. And I'm not saying I'm great with a screen reader. You all saw me fumbling around. I'm much better on mobile, actually. But nevertheless, this stuff is kind of confusing unless you sort of know how to live it and control it. But when you get there, you can actually make web pages say what you want them to say, which is wild. So yeah, the basic output element says nothing. I feel like I probably, so the output tag has an implicit role with ARIA. Yeah, I guess if we go in here, we do inspect accessibility properties. Oh, we never even figured out the, when I was looking at this, I never figured out the ARIA live parts anyway. Oh boy. Let's see. Okay. So what do I want to say here? Let's go here. Show accessible. What's your role? So it has a role of status. Okay. So the status role. What this means is that it's a live region. So when things update, it should say something. So it actually sets some default properties for ARIA Atomic and ARIA Live. And again, super confusing, but I'm glad I was able to record some of these awkward beginnings with it. Yeah, that's a good place to kind of call it, I guess, here. But yeah, a good hour and a half of work there. And I'll go through this later.